Wait, before you keep scrolling, I need you to hear this. Did you know that colon cancer, also called colorectal cancer, is the second leading cause of cancer death worldwide? Not 10th, not 20th, but second, out of every single type of cancer that exists. And here's a number that might actually surprise you. Every single year, colon cancer takes the lives of more than 900,000 people across the world. That means roughly one person is dying from this disease almost every 35 seconds. Now let's make this personal for a second. Doctors estimate that colon cancer will affect somewhere between 1 in 20 and 1 in 25 people at some point in their lifetime, depending on where you live. Think about your friend group, your coworkers, your family gatherings. Statistically, that means someone close to you, someone sitting at your dinner table, watching the same shows as you, laughing at the same jokes, could end up facing this exact diagnosis, no matter what country you're in. And here's the part that should really worry you. Most people who develop it experience warning signs for months, sometimes even years, before they ever get diagnosed. They just don't recognize them because these signs look so ordinary, so easy to explain away, that almost everyone brushes them off. Today, I'm going to walk you through 5 of these signs, the ones doctors say patients most commonly ignore or dismiss as something minor. But before I get into them, I want you to first understand what cancer actually is and how it quietly begins to form, because once you understand the science, these 5 signs are going to make a lot more sense and you'll never look at them the same way again. Also, stick around, because I have a completely free gift for everyone watching this till the end, something that could genuinely help protect your health for the next full year. Let's start simple. Your colon, also called your large intestine, is basically the final processing plant in your digestive system. It absorbs water, forms waste, and moves everything toward the exit. The lining of your colon is constantly renewing itself. Cells are dying off and being replaced by new ones on a regular cycle, kind of like how a factory constantly swaps out worn machine parts to keep production running smoothly. Most of the time, this process runs perfectly. But sometimes a cell divides incorrectly, creating a mutation, and instead of dying off like it's supposed to, that damaged cell keeps multiplying. Over time, these abnormal cells can form small growths called polyps. Most polyps are completely harmless, but a small percentage can slowly, quietly transform into cancer over the course of many years. This is exactly why colon cancer is often called a silent disease in its early stages, because that slow transformation rarely causes dramatic, obvious pain right away. Instead, it shows up as small, subtle signals that are incredibly easy to dismiss as something else entirely. A little bit of blood here, a bit of extra tiredness there, nothing that on its own screams emergency. And that's exactly what makes this disease so dangerous. It doesn't announce itself loudly, it whispers. And most of us are simply never taught to listen for whispers when it comes to our own bodies. Let's break down 5 of the most commonly ignored ones. Sign number 1 is blood. Specifically, blood you might notice in the toilet or on toilet paper. Here's the problem. The overwhelming majority of people who see this immediately assume it's hemorrhoids, and honestly, most of the time it actually is. But that assumption is exactly why this sign gets dismissed so often. Doctors describe this almost like a fire alarm that keeps going off, and instead of checking what caused it, most people just switch it off and go back to what they were doing. Blood in the stool can indicate that something inside the colon, whether it's a polyp or something more serious, is irritated or bleeding. The color even matters. Bright red blood often points toward the lower colon or rectum, while darker, tar-like stool can indicate bleeding higher up in the digestive tract. The key takeaway here isn't to panic every time this happens, it's to stop assuming and actually get it checked, especially if it happens more than once. Sign number 2 is a change in bowel habits that sticks around longer than it should. We're talking about persistent diarrhea, constipation, or a noticeable change in the shape or consistency of your stool, lasting more than a few weeks. Think about it like this. Your bowel habits are basically your body's daily weather report, and most days, the forecast should look pretty similar. When that forecast suddenly shifts and stays shifted for weeks at a time, that's your body telling you something has changed inside that processing plant we talked about earlier. A growth inside the colon can physically narrow the passage or irritate the lining, which changes how waste moves through your system. The reason this sign gets ignored so often is because everyone experiences occasional stomach upset, so people assume it will pass. The real red flag isn't a single bad week, it's a change that simply doesn't go back to normal. Sign number 3 is unexplained fatigue, and this one surprises almost everyone. You're sleeping enough, you're not overworking yourself, yet you feel drained constantly, like your battery just won't fully charge no matter what you do. Here's the simplified science behind it. Slow, low-level bleeding inside the colon that isn't even visible to the naked eye can gradually lead to a condition called iron deficiency anemia. Iron is essential for your red blood cells to carry oxygen throughout your body. So when your iron levels quietly drop over months, your cells are essentially running on lower oxygen supply, similar to trying to run a car engine on fumes. Most people chalk this fatigue up to stress, poor sleep, or simply being busy, when in some cases it can actually be an internal signal that something deeper is going on. What makes this one particularly sneaky is that fatigue builds so gradually, day by day, that most people never connect the dots. They just quietly adjust their lives around feeling tired, reaching for more coffee, canceling plans, assuming this is just what getting older feels like, instead of ever stopping to ask why. Sign number 4 is unexplained weight loss, and I want to be clear, we're not talking about weight loss from a new diet or workout routine. We're talking about weight dropping without any real explanation. Here's why this happens. Growths inside the colon can release certain proteins and inflammatory signals that alter how your body processes energy, sometimes increasing your metabolism or reducing your appetite without you even noticing. Many people actually see this as a positive sign at first, celebrating the weight loss without asking why it's happening. But your body typically doesn't just lose significant weight for no reason, and unexplained weight loss is one of the signs doctors say gets waved off the most, simply because on the surface it doesn't feel like something is wrong. And finally, sign number 5, persistent abdominal discomfort, things like cramping, bloating, or a dull ache that doesn't fully go away. Here's a relatable way to picture it. Imagine a water pipe with a partial blockage inside it. Water can still get through, but it has to squeeze and push harder to make it past that narrowed section. That's similar to what can happen when a growth partially narrows part of the colon. Your digestive system has to work harder, which can create ongoing discomfort that many people describe as mild, or that comes and goes just enough to keep getting dismissed as regular bloating or something they simply ate. Now, I want to be completely transparent with you. This video is for educational and entertainment purposes only. It is not a diagnosis, and it is not a replacement for professional medical advice. If any of these signs sound familiar to you, especially if they've lasted for weeks, please talk to a real doctor, because early detection dramatically increases survival rates, and getting checked is one of the simplest, most powerful things you can do for yourself. Think about it this way. A single appointment, one conversation, one test is a tiny inconvenience compared to what could happen if something real gets left to grow silently for years, simply because it felt easier to assume it was nothing. Now, for the gift I promised you at the beginning. I've put together something called the Gut Guardian Blueprint, a completely free full 1-year health guide packed with daily eating habits, digestive health routines, simple lifestyle changes, and a month-by-month plan designed to help you build lasting, protective habits all year long. Getting it is simple and honestly kind of fun. All you have to do is comment below with the number 1 through 5 of the sign that surprised you the most from today's video, and I will personally make sure the Gut Guardian Blueprint gets sent directly to you, completely free. Before you go, if this video opened your eyes even a little, do me a favor and hit that like button. It genuinely helps this information reach more people who need to hear it. Share this with someone you love, a parent, a sibling, a friend, because a single shared video could be the reason someone gets checked in time. And if you want more life-saving, science-backed content like this, hit subscribe and turn on that notification bell so you never miss what's coming next. Your body is always trying to communicate with you. Today, let's actually start listening. I'll see you in the next video.